All right, and we are live. What's going on, team? Johnny Trades here with another live day trading session. Today is December 22nd, 2025. It is a Monday, and it's about 11:30 my time. Market is pulling back. Bitcoin is pulling back, bouncing right off of this moving average. It would have been nice to get into um, MSTZ at those lows of 1366, but as you can see, I'm kind of averaging into my position. Have 120 shares, or about $1,700, and we are officially up 1% on the trade, a little more than 1%, or about $20. So we're looking to make quite a few bucks as Bitcoin decides to drop, and I wanted to give you guys a update on that real quick. So let me go ahead and share my link with the team. That way you guys are aware that I am live, because again, this is the only place you guys can watch these live streams is in the Discord. So I hope you guys appreciate the content and the value that I'm providing to you all. And yeah, let's go ahead and start our session here. I wanted to give you an update on everything that's going on, just so that way you guys know exactly what I'm doing. Now, I have been giving you guys my trade alerts in the trade ideas section. I have been doing a good job keeping you up to date on the trade as I'm taking it and as it's playing out. So I wanted you guys to be aware that I am shorting Bitcoin today. Okay, I am shorting Bitcoin. It is something I'm doing. Again, I'm actively keeping you up to date on my position. I'm letting you know I bought 50 shares at 9.54 this morning, another 20 which made 70, another 30 that made 100, and then actually I just bought some more just now. I bought another 20 shares. I'm buying another 20 shares for a total of 120 shares. Currently up 1%. And I'll let you guys know there in case you guys can't watch the live stream. But again, it's all about just being transparent with you guys, making sure you guys are aware of exactly what I'm doing and what's making me successful in locking in profits in the stock market. So noticing that Bitcoin has a lot of consolidation. When you look at the 5-minute, a lot of consolidation right around this 200-day moving average, right around this resistance here. Now, if I could go ahead and delete that line, this would now be acting as a support range, and it looks like we have a new resistance range on Bitcoin. I'd say maybe, we could say that was the high, but it looks like 90 something right there. 93 would be a nice resistance point. So I'd love to see another leg down. It doesn't have to happen. It has been very choppy all morning. This thing could actually begin to push up. And so what we need to do is make sure that we do our part by managing our risk if it does go against us. But right now it's looking decent. We are up, now only a 0.5% point, but MSTR getting rejected off of that moving average all day. And that's the kind of consistency or the kind of direction you want to see when taking a trade, right? Buying these dips every time it touches this point, buying, buying, buying. I got a little ahead of myself on this one and I bought 30 shares up at the high, but nonetheless, I still got a nice low average on MSTZ at about 1437, 120 shares. So right now I could actually go here to a sell stop 119 shares, and I could do it for say 1%, which would put me right here, and I could have an open sell stop to where I'd only lose $4, right? And I could bring my stop up higher, but 1433 is literally 1 point below the moving average. And as the moving average goes up, as MSTZ goes up, I can slowly raise my stop loss to where it's actually a break-even trade. If Bitcoin gets rejected off of this point, then I can make more money. If it begins to shoot up and skyrocket, then MST would skyrocket. But I'd love to see a nice little bounce off of this moving average, and that's why I wanted to go live with you guys today, just so that way we can capture this move if it plays out. Now, I don't mind, risking just a little bit more, as it does tend to dip below that moving average when it does get that bounce. But hopefully we don't even have to worry about lowering the stop loss If we get stopped out, we lose a couple dollars, basically break even. And if it pushes higher, then obviously we can see some higher highs, and then we could raise our stop loss. At one point, we were up $22. Could have locked in profits. I ended up buying more instead of selling, but I could have sold there and then bought down here and then been riding it up, already up, 20 something dollars. But at the same time, um, at the same time, it doesn't have to go according to plan either. So, been watching this kind of chop all the last, 30 minutes to an hour, just kind of been watching it chop a little bit up and down, up and down. But right now I'm still seeing that maybe Bitcoin could push down to this moving average on its own moving average and kind of test that out a little bit. Doesn't have to, but it definitely could. Could also just turn and spike all the way up to 90. That's why we're doing our part by managing our risk, because this could actually push down 4 or 5%, and I could be down 80, 90, even $100, and that's not what I want. So by managing our risk, it would have been nice to get into a lower position. 1366 at around 8 this morning, selling here at that double top 1466. That would have been a nice $120 profit already. But hey, it didn't happen. It didn't play out according to plan. I didn't get into this trade until a little bit later in the day, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So here we go. We're testing this again. I'd love to see this sell off some more, or push up and retest and sell off. Either way, that's what we're basically waiting on, as MSTR has been pushing down significantly. Now let's go ahead and take a look at QQQ. Same thing with QQQ. It's having trouble getting above that moving average. It could technically pop up since right now if it wanted to, but still bouncing off of those 621 levels, being very choppy. Doesn't want to give back any of the gains it's had over the last couple days, but I'd love to see some selling pressure. Some selling pressure would be nice for the position that I'm taking. Would also bring Bitcoin down a little bit, but it looks like we are actually seeing some upward momentum here. So let's see if we get rejected. If we do get rejected, that'd be great for us and our position on MSTZ. And again, this could end up being a break-even trade. MA is at 1435. Our stop is at 1433. So it could come back down and retest and bounce. And sometimes it does. Like if I would have had my stop loss where it's at now, it would have got stopped out because it came down below, what is that, 1426, and I would have got stopped out at 1433. So, and then it bounced all the way back up to 1455. So you don't want to have your stop loss set too thin or too small, like in that range. If you know it's going to pull back, then maybe I would have had my stop loss way up here from 1464 to 1460. I would have got stopped out. But because I had it down below this moving average, it was able to move and push up, move and push up. And there's a lot of volatility with this company, so I'd love to see, a big rejection candle here. If we can get rejected, then we can move our stop loss up even more, as MSTR would go down and MSTZ would go up, thus allowing us to go from a break-even trade to in the profits. And then as it continues to go up, we can raise that stop loss. And that's a great strategy to have. It's probably something I should have been doing for a while now. Now this morning I also could have bought at pre-market around 1380s, sold at 1460s, and made my money, over $100 within like 15 minutes and then walked away, right? But it doesn't always play out that way either. So I'd love to see a breakout of 1467. Again, MSTZ could push up. We've been trading it all week. This could push up to $15, up to $16. It could also come back down to 1350s, 1360s. So we're kind of in the middle of this range, and I want to know if it pushes up, we make money. If it goes down, we lock in, or we cut our losses and we wait for a better setup down in this level until it pushes back up again. But, risking only $4 or $5 to technically make $100 plus to $200 is not a bad trade setup in my opinion. We're just waiting for it to play out. and hopefully it does. So yeah, I wanted to go live with you guys this morning. I didn't want to skip our live day trading session, even though it is a little bit later in the day. Again, I still wanted to make sure that I went live with you guys. So here we are, just hanging out, waiting to see this trade play out. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, well, then that's okay too. But at least we did our part by trying, by showing up, and by allowing this trade to play out. We'll see what happens. We got our coffee. Today we got this hot chocolate marshmallow creamer. And man, I don't like it. I mean, I used to like hot chocolate as a kid, but I don't like it anymore. And it's weird to have coffee that tastes like hot chocolate. So I'm like, my mind is just tripping out right now. We also got our Quicksilver Capital One Quicksilver card in the mail, so that's great. Been waiting for that to come in for a minute, and it finally did. So we'll be able to build our credit up even more now. And if you guys want to learn more about building credit or rebuilding credit like I am, then definitely comment or leave a message asking how you can do the same thing. But yeah, this is probably my third or fourth, probably my third Quicksilver card. I had an unsecured one, and then it went to secured. I've had a Discovery card. I've had a City card. I've had another Capital One card. The was it like the white one? So excited to have it and to be able to rebuild my credit. Super pumped for that. We got a crazy workout in yesterday. It was back and biceps. After the day before that, we did chest and triceps. So feeling sore not only in my chest, but in my back, in my biceps, and my triceps. And today we have, I believe it's shoulders today. I keep mixing up shoulders and legs, which I guess is fine because either way I'm doing 4-day workouts, so 4 workouts in a 7-day period. Or technically in a 4-day period, and then I'll take a day of rest on the 5th day, and then on the 6th and 7th day I just start over again. So I'm almost getting all of my muscles worked out twice a week, which is great. It's kind of like double hitting them every week. Okay, here we go. Bitcoin. Gonna test again. See how it's getting squeezed? We're getting a move up, but we're also starting to see, we're starting to get this wedge down. And this wedge actually looks like it may have been broken here to where it's going to go to the upside. Could be wrong, but I think it's already been broken. See that? It's already on the upside. But now that it's only to here, that would be the better result. So it's definitely getting squeezed. I'm excited to see what happens. Does this make lower lows and lower highs? Or does it begin to push up? So we're kind of in that range here of a breakout. It's either going to break up higher or break below. And at one point we're up $22. We should have just locked in our profits there. We're up about 2% on 1,000 or about 1,400. We're up about $22. So we could get that break above and then just trade setup worked. Didn't lock in profits soon enough. Or it could still play out off of a bounce. That might be something that someone's looking at right there from that point to that point. So it is trailing up finally after a nice sell-off. I'd love to see this still continue to get rejected though. Right from this point to now this point, right? Doesn't mean it has to though. But I'd love to see another big rejection down. See, it's above this moving average, but just barely. It's got to break this level and we could get some more selling pressure. The 200 moving average is acting as resistance right now, so that's nice to see. Up $11. Nothing too crazy. Smash the like button for me, guys. Here we go, getting rejected again. Looking for a nice leg down. I'd love to see if I could capture this trade live with you guys today. Sometimes I sell too early and then it ends up giving back a bunch of profits. Or I sell too early. And it pushes up to where, like, okay, you locked in $20 or $30, but you could have locked in 100 or 200 if you would have just waited and been patient. And the other way around, where I wait too long and I give it all back and I lose money and it continues to go down, It's like, okay, you should have cut your losses at $10 or $15. Now you're down $20, $30, $40, $100. So it can literally go either way. And that's the crazy part about trading. The days you want to hold are the days you lose sometimes, and the days you you lock in profits, you locked in profits too early. So here we go. Looks like we're going to get a break of pattern. That would be nice to see right off of this level here, or it's going to bounce off of this level. Kind of right here. Do you see that? How it's touching all these points here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 point touch, 6 point. Now it's going to start coming down, which means MSTR can also have another leg down, and we can actually push up almost 1% again on this trade. 1% would be about $17, so we're just about to hit it. Let's get that nice leg down, guys. Now there is some support at about 82, so we do want to be aware of that, as there is some support right around that level here. But it did break that pattern of that overall momentum. We go down like this, trying to hold a little bit. Up 15 bucks. Again, I don't want to cut my losses too early or take profits too soon, because then that really would just wouldn't be any good. You know, cool, you locked in 15, but you missed out on, technically, you know, you could even make another $50 to that moving average, 100, 160, $200 if we get a nice big sell-off from Bitcoin. Getting rejected several times, 1, 2, 3 times getting rejected off of the moving average. Go, another leg down. Nope, looks like it's going to push up slightly. See what the overall market's doing. Market's selling off still, so I'd love to see it. Again, also getting rejected. It tried to push up, showing signs of small bullishness, and then getting rejected. I'd love to see the market sell off a little bit more. They're almost at those all-time highs again for the last month or so. Nice little curl over back down to retest either the 45 EMA or the 200 MA would be nice. You know, this sells off 1 or 2%. Bitcoin goes down 1 or 2%, and you know, we're going to be in a good position for it. Here we go, nice little leg down. Now we do have a short week this week. That's also why I wanted to go live with you. I believe the market will be closed on Christmas, of course. I think a half a day on Christmas Eve. I'm not too sure on that part, but yeah. So I'd love to see everything come down just a little bit more. Looks like it's finding a little bit of support right here. Kind of the same way Bitcoin is finding support. But now technically officially below that moving average on the 5-minute. Same way as crypto, it should be below that moving average. So when it's below the moving average, it acts more bearish and tends to sell off more, as this acts as a resistance. And when it's above the moving average, it has nice bounces and it acts as support. So I'd love to see a nice leg down from Bitcoin, so that way MSTZ can push up and we can make some more money. You know, trading is all about risk management, identifying opportunities, and patience. A lot of patience. That's what it's all about here. Okay, let's see what MSTR is doing. It's pushing up on its own, literally, without Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not doing much, but MSTR is slightly pushing up. So that's interesting to see. It could be pushing up with the overall market, which again, it's not pushing up a lot. Pushing up a little bit here. Gonna go back up and retest that moving average again. Back down to $10. Moving average for the MSTZ is now 1437, so right where our average share price is. This can continue to trickle up and push up, then all we're doing is waiting, right? It's just kind of going up, stair stepping. We can get a nice stair step up to some new highs. That'd be great. Even to that point there, we're up about 2% again, $37 or so. So we're just waiting for Bitcoin to sell off, really. The overall market to sell off as well. MSTR to sell off. And we'll be in a better position if it does. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple other companies here. See the progress that they're making. Open, nice push from 640 to 680, back down to that moving average, testing it as support. Bull running up very nicely from Friday's highs, now making newer highs almost at $9. Sound pushing up, selling off briefly to 1107, then pushing up to 1150. That would have been a nice 50 cents per share. Now testing that moving average as support. LUNR pushing up to $16 now. SoFi selling off. It's now below the moving average and the 45 EMA, showing signs of bearish trend and selling off even more. Cinex about where it was on Friday. CMG selling off but still testing the 200 as support. Intel selling off even lower to $36. Literally hitting the moving average and getting rejected. We talked about this on Sunday, that if it did move and hit that average, it would sell off. And if it went above that moving average, we could get in because it would be bullish. But selling off even more. PayPal selling off this morning, bouncing right off of that moving average. Hood, a nice push up, but getting rejected today. Nvidia pushing up as well. We could see some slight curl back, curl over. Lululemon pushing up. We talked about this as well. If it can hold above that level, then we can see a nice push up. I did draw these lines, right? If it holds this 45 EMA, which it did, we can see it go to higher levels. If it got below this blue line, the 45 EMA, it could have sold off to different levels. So I'm glad that worked out. Amazon selling off and bouncing off of an old resistance, which is now support. Apple selling off. It could not hold above the green line, the 200-day moving average, so that is selling off. Google is holding. And Tesla, it did hit $500. We talked about this as well. If it can hold above this level here on the 45 EMA, it would push up to 500 and retest it as support. And it did. It's retesting it very nicely at support. It looks like it's even breaking out of that resistance level, which is just beautiful to see. So I'm glad that we can notice these trends. We can notice these different patterns now that we've been consistently watching these companies for, literally over a year now. We've been consistently watching these same patterns since January of this year. Every once in a while, I'll add 1 or 2 stocks to this list, and every once in a while, I'll take a stock or 2 off. But for the majority, it's been these same 20 or so companies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 maybe. 17 companies if you don't count the Qs. So not bad, not bad. So a little less than 20 companies that we watch every single day and track throughout the year. Looks like QQQ is trying to find a little bit of some upward momentum here. Still getting rejected, so I'd love to see another leg down. Very choppy day though in general, so that's interesting to see. Bitcoin, big leg down from Bitcoin, finally happened. It broke that support level that we were talking about. MSTR is also pushing down. MSTZ is up. We're back up 1% on the day. Looks like it hit 1460. So now we can raise our stop to where now we are in the money. We are in the money on this. If it pulls back, then we're still going to be able to lock in money. And we have no risk on this trade, not a single bit of risk on this trade as of right now. This was the break of pattern that we are looking for. It broke the 45 EMA. Now MSTR can sell off with it. I'd love to see a nice leg down from MSTR. Technically, below 164.92. We can get a nice retest on the moving average of 164.54, which means we should be able to push this up to even that moving average there, about $55 or so on this trade. We are now up 28.50, 27. And let's see this. Sell off a little bit more, getting a nice little green candle here. We'll see what happens. I'd love to see another leg down, as that would drive the price down even further. There we go. Nice big leg down on Bitcoin. I'm glad we're able to capture it on the live stream here today. I'm going to let the Discord know. BTC selling off, breaking support. MSTZ pushing up. Gotta let the team know, because not all of you guys are going to be watching the live stream. So 165.28. We're up almost $30. We're going to raise our stop even more. We're going to raise it up 10 more points. So now we are really in the money on this. We are now going to lock in $20 plus. Even if this pulls back, we're still going to lock in money. It's like Bitcoin's trying to find a little bit. Let's see it sell off a little bit more. Now, can it rally? Yes, it can, right off of that 45 EMA. I'd love to see it sell off a little bit more, though. Another leg down. MSTR should break that support level. 1455, 1462. Bitcoin selling off a little bit more here. 88,000. There we go. MSTR, big leg down, big push up. I wouldn't mind taking my 2% and bouncing. 88.5. We could see potential pullback here. This could hit my stop loss too. Come on, give us another leg down. There we go, another leg down. Another leg down from Bitcoin. Beautiful rejection here. testing the moving average, getting rejected, breaking that support level, selling off, breaking the 45 EMA and selling off. Now it's testing the 1 hour. Let's see the 1 hour get rejected. Doesn't have to, but it is possible. MSTR pushing up. Give us one more leg down so we can showcase us moving our moving average up, or our stop loss up even more. There we go, another leg down. Woo! Another leg down from Bitcoin, which should send MSTR down even more. There we go. It is going to break that support level. Come on, baby. Break that support level for us. Bitcoin's selling off. MSTR needs to follow. Another big leg down. Bitcoin at 88.7. MSTR at 165.01. Did finally break that level here of support. 164.90. We're up 2%. We're going to raise our stop up even higher now to 1461. I know that's a really tight stop, but why not? If it goes against me, we can lock in profits, right? Bitcoin continuing to sell off. Big leg down. MSTR trying to hold at that 165.10, 165.11. Here we go, another leg down for us. Let's see it. MSTR is doing a great job by trying to hold that level here. It doesn't want to break that level back down to lows. $165.03, 165.67. There we go. Still pushing up. Up almost 40 on the day. MSTR breaking that level. 164.82. Let's see how long we could ride this. MSTZ up to 1470. MSTR selling off even more. We're going to bring this up even higher now. It's a very tight stop, but I'm not trying to get back any more profits than I have to. We're up $40. Here we go, another leg down from Bitcoin. Should send MSTR down a little bit more. We might end up getting stopped out because it's so tight of a stop. Yeah, I think we're gonna get stopped out right here. That's what's so cool about stop losses. You could just continue to raise them up higher and higher. We are now a risk-free trade. We're in the money. Love to see it pull back some more though. I believe we're going to get stopped out right here. Come on, make another leg down for us. All right, we got sold. We locked in $36, over 2% profit on that trade by just honestly managing our risk, increasing our stop loss as it went up and up and higher, and we did a great job being able to showcase it in the live stream today. And that's what it's all about. Honestly, I wish I was doing that all week long. If I was doing that all last week, we wouldn't have just made, you know, close to $200 last week. We could have made closer to $1,000 last week by simply raising our stop loss and being patient. As it was pushing up, we did a great job by raising our stop loss. Same thing here. I didn't have to sell on the first pullback. I could have had a lower stop loss, and when it pushed up, waited, pushed up, waited, raised my stop loss, raised my stop loss, raised my stop loss, and when it hits, and we lock in profits. So that's what I'm going to try to do better on moving forward, is instead of locking in profits when I think that I should be locking in profits, do a great job by simply buying, having a stop loss set, As it continues to push up, we're just raising our stop loss. Okay, pretend this is my stop loss here. It pushed up, it didn't get stopped out, pushed up to a new leg, push it up again, it goes up a little more, and as it goes up, we're just continuing to increase our stop loss until eventually it gets hit when it pulls back. That is a way to maximize your profits daily, okay, just by managing your risk and raising that stop loss. So now we sold it at 1468. It's down to 1460. We could have ended up giving back a lot more than we wanted to, and in this case, we didn't give back. We didn't give back a lot at all, which was great. It's a great feeling to have. So let's see here, and 2% is, you know, 2% is realistic. 2% is just enough to, make some profits daily. 2%, a day is 10% a week. That's 40% a month. And I'm very happy with that. Now, MSTR can technically get rejected. This could make another leg down. And technically, we could get back in this trade if we wanted to. There's nothing saying we can't. But I also don't want to give back any of my profits either. But it's doing a great job by getting rejected and pushing up higher. So by maybe having my stop loss a little lower, maybe at 1450, I would not even be stopped out right now. I'd be lower. I'd probably be at like $30 maybe or so. But this could also bounce and even go up to $15, $16. Could also come all the way back down. And that's the case too, where I've been in, where I don't lock in my profits up here. It goes all the way back down to break even. I see all my profits go back to zero and sometimes even below. And then you have to deal with, seeing yourself up 2% to now down 2%. And that could be frustrating as well to any new investor. It could be very frustrating indeed. Okay, I'm wanting to see let's see here. Now that is interesting. That was on Thursday. So I could technically get back in if I want. Do I want to though? That's the question. Wouldn't mind taking another small trade, but it's probably shouldn't. Probably just, because there's a risk of over trading. You don't want to over trade. Got two of those. 16th and the 17th. It's the 17th on Friday. 17th was on Wednesday, so that's interesting. All right. That was a really decent trade right there. MSTR. Looks like Bitcoin is going to showcase another leg down. Potentially. Now there's a new support of around 88, so we'll see if it could break that support, or does it bounce off of it and push up higher. This could also run. If it breaks this level, it could push up even higher. But I think that was a good move. That was decent. If only I would have got in sooner, 1370s to 1470s, that would have been my $100 to $120 day. So I only caught about half of that trade today. Looks like I could potentially make another leg down. What if I did buy back in with 100 shares? It just gives it all back. That would suck. Let's see if it bounces or if it sells off. Let's see if we catch a bounce here. I think the better thing to do, because it is so oversold within such a small amount of time, you know, market opened at what, 7:30? It popped up to 90, so it's sold off a pretty decent amount already. Sold off almost 2%. I would hate for this thing to push up 2% and then I give back all my profits on the day. So it should be bouncing off of the 1 hour. No, it's not actually. Actually lost the 1 hour. If it makes another big leg down, then I could see myself getting back into MSTZ. It might even consolidate here at this level as well. So I think we did a good job managing our risk. Oh, I need to let the LT team know. Sold MSTZ at highs of, what was that? 1468. Locked in 2.14%. Looks like Bitcoin could bounce off of this level and push up. So I think our trade plan worked out perfectly. We've seen the rejection, the big swing from 90 down to 89, creating support. It pushed up to 90. We waited for it to drop below. We bought our first shares at, what is this, 937, which means Bitcoin was right here. It had just crossed below this moving average, so my risk was very small when I initiated that trade, and we've seen it slowly push down further. It consolidated, tried to get back up, but we saw that it really just wasn't going above this moving average at all, kept getting rejected, and that's all we needed was a little more time for the rejection, and it had a nice huge sell-off, which we were able to participate in. So MSTZ, great move here. We were at 1438 average share price for the majority of the day. We're at 1438 average share price. Then it went down to about 1430, and then it went back up to about 1440-ish. And then this last one, buying 20 shares at 1427, brought our average to 1437. So we had an average right around the same place as this level here. Now our risk on this initially was the moving average, right? We could have risked 2%. We risked 2% to make 2%. So it was a 1-for-1 trade, but I was risking 2% to technically make a little bit more than that. I was wanting to make at least, you know, 9% today. So even 8%, that would have been a 1-for-4. It didn't get to that level. It looks like it bounced right off of that moving average on the 30-minute, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, this thing could technically push higher if Bitcoin begins to sell off. Looks like it is even getting rejected and making lower highs right now. MSTR could technically get rejected and come back down as well, creating a nice opportunity for a dip buy on MSTZ to push up higher. You know, I could buy 100 shares. Now it goes up to 1474, and that could be another $20. You know, that could be a 50-something dollar day. But right now it looks like Bitcoin is kind of just consolidating at this level. Doesn't look like it's really doing a whole lot. MSTR is pushing up, and so now we're just going to wait for opportunity to buy again. But very nice. It broke that support that it had most of the day for a nice little overextended sell-off. Now it's a little bit too oversold for me. In general, for MSTR, this thing could actually rip up pretty aggressively. If it breaks this moving average, we can see it go back up to those highs of 169. And if it gets rejected again, then we could be setting ourselves up for another position in MSTZ, right? Back down to that moving average. We're very small risk buying here, maybe risking, you know, just a fraction of anything, But if this thing pushes up, it can really push up. We've seen Bitcoin do that before, where it gets a huge rip from 89 back up to, $90,000. And that could be the case here today. If we zoom out, looking at the 5-minute, looks like it is bouncing off of a previous support level here. And again, we could see a huge rip back up. MSTR, back to that moving average, right? So we could see this push up even higher. Could also just get rejected, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it'll probably continue to push higher. It looks like it's getting rejected. We could see some lower lows. Be risking about $10. I don't know if I want to do it here. You could see another leg up by Bitcoin. MSTR kind of stuck there at the moment. Could miss out on the move though. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to see even just how it acts. Getting a lot of selling pressure. MSTR really wants to push up higher. It's back down to Friday's levels of support, basically. It is below the moving average. It is below the exponential moving average. But again, we can get a big leg up from Bitcoin, and again, I can get back all my profits. It'd be pointless to even take this trade. There we go. Looks like it's going to push up. MSTR is going to retest the moving average. $14.45 could be the low on the day. Looks like Bitcoin is still dropping. Now this has a chance of going to 160 and a chance of going to 170. It's kind of in the middle. It's kind of in the middle right now. Just like Bitcoin. Bitcoin could come back down to test 87, even 84. It's kind of just waiting to see what it does. Here we go. We could experience another leg down or another leg up to retest this 45 EMA. Really just trying to be patient on this next trade. Looks like we're going to get another leg down, guys. This isn't moving though. Why isn't it moving? If it breaks support, then we could see some more selling pressure. Does it break support? I'm going to miss the move. 1440. Could already be in the money again. Another $15. Just trying to be patient here. It did hit our alert. Yep, 14.44. It ought to be up $10 with no risk in another trade. No risk with a nice stop loss. I think it's giving me time to re-enter. I think we're going to get another big leg down. Here we go, retesting 88. There it is. We're going to get in. Bitcoin is selling off, so it should bring MSTR down more. We're going to have our stop set for 100 shares again. Okay, the most we can lose is 1%. Bitcoin, another leg down. I'd love to see it push down even further. Being patient here. See another leg down. This should already be dropping pretty significantly too. See it drop even lower. Nice leg down. Let's see a little bit more. There we go. Another big leg down. Looks like it's we tried to recover just right there. 14.59. I'm not trying to give back any of my profits though. There we go. Another big leg down. Down to 88.5. And right now I'm nickel and diming it. I could literally walk away and hold this position for the next few hours and see this thing sell off more significantly. But right now I've already made profit, so now I'm just trying to, in a way, kind of scalp it a little bit. Here we go. Big leg down from Bitcoin. We should see MSTR follow in just a second. Just trying to do everything I can to hold up to 165. It's gonna follow. It's gonna break that level of support again. I just know it. Just gonna give it a little bit of time. See one more leg down. Go a little bit lower. Come on, baby. There we go. Nice little push down. Selling off. This is pushing up. Come on. Go down even more. 88,494 for Bitcoin. MSTR to 165.18. It's weird, it says we made 2%, but now it's saying only 1%. Maybe because we got in again, I guess. So it's another position. Very odd. Looks like Bitcoin got stuck for a second. There we go. Another leg down by Bitcoin. I'd love to see a bigger leg down than what it's showcasing. We're going to raise our stop to 1454. Oh, cancel. Come on, sell off a little bit more. Is that a nice little sell off though? Trying to hold that support here. Come on, another leg down for us. There we go. Beautiful. Big rejection. Okay, we're now in the money again. Just another nice leg down. 165.21. Come on. There we go. Push it down. 88,469 again. Okay, made a new low. Come on, baby. You got up to 90. Now let's go back down. MSTR not wanting to push down with it. It's made a lower low than earlier, which means MSTR should have been below 164.50. It hasn't done that yet. It is not correlating with it just yet. Which can be frustrating as well to some people, right? This has made a lower low than earlier, which means MSTR should also be making a lower low. That does not seem to be happening here. So we've been on the live stream for going on an hour now. Bitcoin is starting to consolidate at these levels here. We're going to continue to hold our stop loss because it looks like Bitcoin is selling off again. Which really means MSTR should be selling off too, and it's not. It's doing a great job trying to hold up at 165.50. There we go, another leg down by Bitcoin. Big leg down by Bitcoin, down to 88.4, 88.3, 88.38, which should be sitting MSTR down even more. It just doesn't seem like it's doing it as much as I'd like it to. 88.3. Holy moly, Bitcoin continues to sell off. Back down to that moving average. Love to see it. MSTR needs to sell off with it. It's just not correlating with it at all. Bitcoin's making another huge leg down, and MSTR is just holding at 65.33. What's the overall QQQ doing? Oh, okay, that's probably why. QQQ is pushing up, but Bitcoin's selling off, so it's a little bit of a lag with MSTR. If QQQ continues to push up, then MSTR will technically try to push up with it. Another big leg down though by MSTZ. We're going to raise our stop up. So almost another no risk trade. Risking $3. I'll probably end up getting stopped out. 14.56. I'd love to see this sell off more, guys. QQQ pushing up. Looks like it's trying to push up with the overall market now instead of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's selling off, QQ's pushing up slightly, and MSTZ, they're both kind of flatlined. Here we go. Maybe we could see another leg down on MSTR. And Bitcoin is selling off, and we're in the right side of the trade here. We're doing the right thing here by letting Bitcoin sell off. MSTR should be selling off with it. It's really struggling. It's really holding support well. I would hate to miss out on $100 because this thing pushes up slightly. MSTR should be selling off right now. And it's just not happening. What's QQQ doing? QQQ's wanting to curl over, but it looks like it's going to push up. Bitcoin is pushing up now. MSTR is still kind of there at 165.26, 165.23. See this thing sell off, man. I'd love to see it sell off even more. It's really holding this support level well. If it can break that support level, then we'll see another sell off, another leg down. We'll possibly get stopped out right here. 14.56. Come on, push lower. Push down with the market. Sell off, baby. Come on, curl over. You know you want to. Now we're just waiting. See some more selling pressure. Come on. I know you can sell off some more. 165.07, making a new low. Well, not a new low, but lower than a minute ago. 165.8. 1466. Let's get that $50 today that we wanted. $50 to $100 today. Let's go. Bitcoin's selling off a little bit more. What's QQQ doing? QQQ selling off. Let's see this thing crash. MSTR, what are you doing? You should be following with this trend down. There we go, up 45.99. Breaking 165 support. 164.94. Come on, we need another leg down here. $165.5. We're gonna raise our stop up to 1462. So we're gonna make some money here, no matter what. It's a little bit tight of a stop though, honestly. QQQ. Nope, QQQ selling off. So let's go. Let's get another leg down. Don't do a retest. Let's get a leg down here. MSTR pushing lower. Love to see a break of support here for a big leg down on MSTR. That'd be beautiful. Let's see this thing sell off. Here we go. Looks like it's going to sell off a little bit more. Come on. Go down. Okay, another big leg down. I think QQQ lost its support here. It did for just a second. Break that leg down to the low. There we go, selling off. Still pushing up. This thing could push up very nicely, so we're just waiting. Slowly pushing our stop loss up higher. Here we go, a nice sell-off. 164.84. 164.87. QQQ must have found support. I really want to see QQQ push down. If it can more, there we go. And we could hold this trade even longer. There we go. Nice push down. Nope. Probably going to get stopped out in just a second. Even though we were at literally an area, right? So it's trying to hold above that moving average. Get another big leg down, please. Another leg down. Up to $44. Bitcoin trying to sell off. QQQ again trying to sell off. Let's get that leg down. Get 2 legs down would be okay, but it looks like it's trying to hold. Doing a good job holding right here. There we go. That's the selling pressure we wanted to see. Another leg down. This pushes up to 47. Come on. It broke that support. And here we go. $50. Gonna move our stop up even more. It's a very tight stop though. 1468. That's a huge, that is a tight stop. I do not want to give any back on this second trade at all. $14.68. Probably gonna get stopped out right here. $14.71. $14.73. Don't mind taking $50 though. It's a nice round number. MSTR struggling to get above, selling off even more. Raising my stop up to 1471. MSTR selling off, just hit my alert. Some more selling pressure to the downside. MSTZ up to 1475. I think I'm going to take it right here, guys. I mean, I could hold it. Why not? There it is, 1475. Sold 1471. Made $49 today. And this thing could technically sell off even more, but I'm happy with that. Buy, 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 sell. Buy at 1459, sold at 1471, made a couple more dollars, and that's it. I'm happy with that trade today. Beautiful, beautiful trade. And it could sell off even more, but we did a great job today by managing our risk. It's right here at that moving average, so it could definitely bounce and pop right back up. That's not something I wanted to see. Could also go below the moving average. Yeah, great trade. Great trade today. And there it goes. We would have gave back all of our profits right on that little move. Back up to 164.71. Great job. $49. Whew, what a trade, man. What a beautiful trade here. Again, by being able to buy sooner, though, we could have locked in more money. But that's okay. I was comfortable. I wasn't stressed out. Seemed like the trade went very well. It went in my favor. We were patient. We were taking our time. And we made $49 today, which is a little bit more than 2%. I'm not sure why it's only showing 1.54. Probably because I did take the second trade, I'm assuming. Because technically $50 on 1,400, or what was it, 1,700? 1734. Yeah, it would have been a little bit more than that, wouldn't it? Let's see here. .03. Yeah, it'd have been closer to 3% today. 3% just holding it instead of selling at 1468, waiting just a little bit more. But still very happy with my trade. All right, and that's going to wrap up this live day trading session. Looks like MSTR could technically push even lower, which is great. I mean, let it. There's nothing wrong with that. But we did a good job by managing our risk, having a pretty solid trade plan, and locking in profits not once, but twice today. So, yeah, I was able to capture it all live with you guys. So, I appreciate your guys' time. Like always, remember, let's end the year on a green note, and we'll see you all for another live day trading session tomorrow morning. Later, guys.